Hi everyone, hope you're all well. Hi, welcome to people joining. Welcome whether you're new or whether you're a regular. I can already see some regular people joining, so welcome to everyone. We're going to be doing some GCSE revision here. As some of you may already know, we did some earlier today. Welcome if you're joining for the first time. Please do like the live so that other people can join as well. Thanks for the follows and for the likes, guys. I appreciate it a lot. So yeah, please do like the live so other people can join us so they know we're revising. And then we can get started ASAP as soon as we've got a few more people in here. So we don't have to start again or repeat ourselves. But yeah, welcome guys. We're going to do some GCSE science revision. Continuation of what we started earlier today. It's going to be a quick one, but we're going to try and do as much as we can in maybe 15-20 minutes. And like I said before, this will also go onto YouTube as well, so you guys will be able to view this later on too. Welcome to everyone. Welcome to the new people joining. Hope you're all doing well. How's your guys' weekend going? Hopefully you guys are revising loads. Yeah. We're going to do some GCSE biology, by the way, guys. All right, we're going to be continuing with the biology that we started earlier on. So GCSE, I don't need to write GCSE. We all know this is GCSE and it's biology. We're continuing with the biology that we started earlier today. Okay, so we started earlier we started communicable diseases. So we're going to finish that bit off now. The first part is on my YouTube account now. So you can view the first part whenever you guys want. And we're going to do the second part now and finish off this topic. And then next time we do a live, we'll also be doing, physics next time, okay? Is it easier to get a 5 in higher foundation? It's difficult to say. The best way to check would probably be to actually attempt a foundation and a higher paper and see which one you do better in. This will be for both combined and triple science students, so you all need to know this. All right, so please do like the live. Please do share the live so other people can join as well. And if you're not already following, make sure you do follow so that you know when we go live. But yeah, welcome to all of you guys. Hope you guys are doing really well and having a nice weekend. What topic in biology? We're going to continue with communicable diseases. So earlier we started talking about the different types of pathogens, viruses, bacteria, protists and fungi. We looked at their properties, how they cause disease. And we also looked at viruses in more detail. So we looked at the different examples. And now we're going to do the next one. So we're going to look at bacteria. And we're going to talk about what type of bacterial diseases we need to know about and some details about those as well and how they actually cause disease. Okay, we'll look at the symptoms, how it's spread, treatment, prevention, and so on. So yeah, do like the live, let other people know that we're here. Thanks for the follows, guys, and thanks for the likes as well. Yeah, when we've got a few more people in, we'll wait probably another 30 seconds, then we'll get started so that we've got as many people in here as possible, all revising together, all boosting our grades together, right? That's the goal. But yeah, no, hope you guys are doing really well. Like I said, for those of you whilst we just wait for the final few people to trickle in. Hi, Adam. If you haven't already, make sure you take a screenshot of this or check this out later on today or now or whenever you like. If you go onto my website, christuition.myshopify.com, you'll find the GCSE 2023 predicted papers on there. Okay. I've spent so many days and hours making these papers for you guys, researching what's going to come up in this year's exams. Hi, Natalie as well. Hi, Madeline. So yeah, I've collated these papers all together for you guys, made all of these papers together for you. And yeah, there's predicted papers for maths and science on my website. So check them out. And don't forget to use discount code LIVE30 because that will bring the papers down to about 50, 60-ish p per paper with the mark scheme. So it's really cheap. But like I said, I've spent so many hours making these papers. They're going to be the best thing, the closest thing you can get to your real exams. So really, really good opportunity for you guys to get some really good revision in as well. All right. When is the right time to start revising for A-levels? Never. No, you should definitely start revising as soon as you start your A-levels, okay? Discount code is LIVE30. LIVE30 like this. That gets you 30% off everything. even though they're all really discounted already, but it gets it down even more. There's combined science, there's triple science papers for AQA, and then for maths, there's EdXL, AQA, and EdXL, and OCR, sorry. Anyway, we're going to get started. Right, so this is for both combined and for triple science students, and we're continuing with what we started earlier. Okay, for those of you who are here for the first time, if you go on YouTube and you type in Tutor Chris, like this one, like this. Okay, if you type that into YouTube and you click on the first one, Tutor Chris, you'll find my account there and you'll find the videos that I posted from today. So you can see we did the part 1 of GCSE communicable diseases earlier today. This is now the part 2. So we're going to continue on with this. If you missed part 1, you can check it out there later on. And this will go up there afterwards too. So let's have a look at the next thing, which is bacterial diseases, okay? And we said earlier that the way bacteria actually cause disease is bacteria release toxins. And those toxins are poisonous chemicals and they damage our cells, right? They poison and damage our cells. One example of a bacteria that we need to know, or bacterial infection, is Salmonella. Okay, so Salmonella is very common. And we should know that Salmonella comes from mainly uncooked or poorly cooked poultry and meats, okay? Now, it's generally found in the guts of lots of animals, and if they're not cooked properly, this bacteria is not killed, and therefore we can ingest it. Or if you don't clean surfaces properly after perhaps cutting up chicken or something like that, then we can get this Salmonella infection, all right? Now, generally speaking, after ingesting something that contains Salmonella, we'll probably start to see some symptoms within about 10 hours, okay? But it can take up to 3 days even for the bacteria to reproduce enough in your body to cause disease. The kind of things that we would see would be fever, abdominal cramps, so stomach cramps, vomiting, diarrhea, all very common. Yeah, I'm studying to be a doctor, yeah. Oh, yeah, diarrhea. So there we go. So these are the main things that we would see if we had a Salmonella infection. Generally speaking, Salmonella infections can clear up on their own in our body. So it shouldn't take too long for our white blood cells to kick in and to start destroying the Salmonella bacteria. And therefore, we should get better very quickly without the need for any medication. If we were to take any medication, can anyone tell me what type of medication we might get for a Salmonella infection? This will include both foundation and higher stuff. Yeah, what kind of medication do we take if we want to treat? Yeah, very good. Nice one, Deepak. Nice one, Em. Yeah, we would take antibiotics, okay? Antibiotics are treatments for bacterial diseases only. Okay, so if you have a Salmonella infection, you take antibiotics. Yeah, antibiotics, the wonderful pills. There's a nice song on YouTube about them. They're there to treat your bacterial infections, right? Now, if they're not treated, so let's say you've got a really young child with a Salmonella infection, or you've got a really elderly grandparent or something with a Salmonella infection. Because of the diarrhea, because of the vomiting, you're losing a lot of fluid from your body. And if you lose too much fluid, you'll become dehydrated, okay? And it can actually lead to death. So there have been cases where Salmonella has led to someone's death because of dehydration, okay? So their body's expelling so much water, and if they don't take in enough, then, and it's the body's getting rid of all of it, they will dehydrate, and therefore they could even die. So it can be fatal, but generally it's not, right? If we're talking about how it's spread, we would say that Salmonella spread through contaminated food, or uncooked food. Okay, so what I mean by uncooked food, obviously, raw chicken. If I'm saying contaminated food, I mean, I don't know, if I cut up some chicken on a cutting board, then I make a salad on it, on that same cutting board without cleaning it, then that salad will be contaminated with the salmonella. Yeah, loss of minerals, vitamins, and so on. Absolutely. Okay, you can also sometimes find salmonella in eggs that aren't cooked. Okay, so there's been cases of salmonella being found in mayonnaise as well in the past. But nowadays, this is less common. And it's less common because we have a way of avoiding salmonella, and that is by vaccinating chickens. Okay, so one way we can actually avoid this happening is we vaccinate chickens. So the chickens themselves are less likely to develop and spread salmonella. So that's very good. So we can vaccinate them. We can cook chicken properly, chicken and other meats, but chicken is a notorious one for salmonella, isn't it? Okay, avoid contamination, so cleaning all surfaces and hands after being in contact with raw meat as well. All those things should be done to avoid salmonella being spread, okay? So these are the main things about salmonella. Let's move on. There's a couple of other things I want to go over. Like I said to you guys, this will be on my YouTube as well, so don't worry. You receive the papers straight away to your email and also on your screen. Okay, so next one, gonorrhea. Spell it right. Gonorrhea is another bacterial infection that occurs in the human body. Gonorrhea. And gonorrhea is a sexually transmitted disease. Okay, so it's an STD. Quite a lot of cases quite recently, in the last few years. So it's important that people know how to control it as well. In terms of symptoms, the first kind of things that you would see, some of you may already know, you'd get thick yellow-green discharge. Yellow-green discharge from your reproductive organs. Okay. Because of this, you might get pain when urinating as well. So these are all things we should know. Sometimes people can also be asymptomatic, so they might have gonorrhea without actually experiencing any symptoms. And if left untreated, it can sometimes cause infertility, especially in men, because the sperm duct can become blocked with the green, thick discharge. Yeah, it can cause a lot of problems, okay? And then if a woman is pregnant and she's got gonorrhea, when the baby is born, it can also infect the baby. It can cause eye infections for the baby. And in rare cases, it can also cause the baby to be blind if it's not caught quickly enough. So there's lots of danger surrounding these diseases, right? In terms of how it's spread, so spread by unprotected intercourse. Okay. In terms of preventing it, well, barrier methods. Shared needles, not quite. No. Shared needles is more for HIV/AIDS. For gonorrhea, it's more to do with sexual intercourse, and the way you avoid it is through, like Deepak is saying there, contraception is a very good way of avoiding it. Contraception. If you do have gonorrhea, you treat it as quickly as you can with antibiotics. Okay, this is one of those where you would want to treat it with antibiotics instead of leaving your body to do all the work, because you want to treat it as quickly as possible. Okay, so there we go. There's another one that we need to know. Okay, so hopefully that all makes sense to all of you. Do you have any questions about any of these? Salmonella or gonorrhea? No? No, very good. Yeah, seems like you guys have a good understanding of it. Okay, so the next one that we'd move on to would be fungal diseases and protist diseases. Okay, so in terms of protist diseases, that one's quite quick. We learn about malaria, So malaria is caused by a protist. Okay, so it's called the Plasmodium protist, which causes malaria. And there's different types of Plasmodium which can cause malaria. You don't need to worry about the family name of those species. But what you should know is that this malaria protist is spread by mosquitoes. Okay, so spread via mosquitoes, mainly by mosquitoes. And these mosquitoes act as a vector, right? Yeah, athlete's foot is a fungal disease, yes. Yeah, nice one, Chris. So what would actually happen if you have malaria? If you've got malaria, you have symptoms of fever, often like cold, shaking spells, so shaking or shivering spells. Yeah. Sorry about that. Yeah, so when you get a fever, obviously we're talking about high temperature and so on, right? In terms of diagnosis, malaria can be treated. So generally it's only if it's very early diagnosis, so early on in the infection. But it is quite difficult to treat it nevertheless. So generally they have to use a combination of drugs which control all your symptoms whilst also trying to destroy the pathogen. Okay, so it is very difficult. In terms of trying to avoid it, yeah, it's best to try and prevent getting it rather than treating it, because the treatment is kind of touch and go a little bit, right? Sometimes it will work, sometimes it won't, and it all depends on how quickly you catch it. Because once that protist is in your liver and it's able to replicate a lot, then that becomes really difficult to treat. Okay, in terms of preventing the spread, yeah, nice one, Deepak. We're talking about things like mosquito nets, things like wearing insecticides or insect repellents, I should say. Insecticides would be used on buildings and on plants to stop the mosquitoes from being able to breed on them. Yeah, destroy the breeding place. So the breeding place is usually still containers of water. So like a bucket of water outside in your garden, that's a breeding place for protists. So you would get rid of that water or cover it up with something so that the mosquitoes cannot breed there. Okay. So there's no specific cure for malaria, but you can have things. So if you go to your GP before going to a country that has lots of cases of malaria, you can get anti-malarial drugs which are able to prevent you from getting it. And then in terms of actually treating it, there are medications which help to stop the symptoms that you're having and in turn help your body to fight it off. So that's how treatment works for malaria generally. And it only works really if you catch it really early on. Okay, so we used to have quite effective treatments for malaria not that long ago, but malaria has the protist that causes malaria has become quite resistant to them. Does antibiotics stop the growth or kill fungi? Antibiotics don't affect fungi. Antibiotics destroy bacteria, and therefore they stop the bacteria from being able to reproduce. Okay, good question. All right. So nice one. So we've finished that. Hopefully that will make sense to you guys. I will be posting this on my YouTube like I told you guys earlier. So for those of you who didn't see earlier, my YouTube is Tutor Chris. If you type Tutor Chris into YouTube, you will find me there. Let's see, did anyone find me in the meantime? Yeah, a handful of you have found me. So yeah, you can find me there. And if you subscribe there, you'll be able to see when I post those videos on there for you guys later on today. So part 1 is already up there from earlier communicable diseases. This will be part 2. And yes, I do have a website, christuition.myshopify.com. That one over there. That's my website. You'll find all my GCSE predicted papers on there. And remember, when you're on there, use the code LIVE30, and that LIVE30 will get you 30% off all the papers, which are already heavily discounted. And like I told you guys earlier, these are the best forms of revision you can get because they're as close as you're going to get to your real exams. So really, really good revision resources. I promise you guys that. I've had people messaging me saying that they were amazing for their revision and that they were able to make a lot of progress because they managed to practice topics that they wouldn't have otherwise revised. So I'm glad that's helped. But yeah, completely new questions. Very good opportunity for you guys to have a go at revising things that you've perhaps not revised before and really preparing as well as you can for these exams. So make sure you check those out. christuition.myshopify.com. The link is in my bio, so check it out. And I do also mention it in my videos. But yeah, like I said to you guys, this will be going up on my YouTube. So check it out there. And I'll try to do another live later this evening around 9 p.m. So hopefully I'll see you guys then and we'll do some physics stuff, okay? So yeah, take care guys. Have a good rest of your evening and make sure you check out my website. If you don't want to take a screenshot of this link, you can find the link also in my bio. So have a look and see you guys in a bit.